Hello, welcome to episode 191 in the Datapack tutorial series version 1.21.4. We're going to be making a bow enchantment that's going to detect arrow hits. So if we hit a block, it'll do something, and if we hit an entity, it'll do something. Let's demonstrate. I've just added some simple functions on. So if we have an entity, you hit an entity, and we gave it levitation. And we played a particle as well. Okay, or if we hit a block, we changed the block, I gave myself levitation, and we played the particle as well. Okay, there we go. Right, let's put that back. Let's get on and build it now. I don't need a cut because I've already emptied the data pack. Now, out of interest, if you try and run a data pack with an empty enchantment, it won't load. And I've emptied the data pack, so I want to know what happens if I do reload. Does it just crash me out? Does it corrupt the world completely? In which case there might be a cut. No, didn't. Okay. What happens if I try and fire the bow? Nothing. Okay. Let's save and quit. Let's try and open that world again. Yeah, errors. Oh well. It dealt with that pretty well. I'm glad it didn't crash, to be honest. Okay, let's go off to the data pack. And we'll start with the enchantment. And then we've got hit block and we've got hit entity. So if we hit a block, we run that function. If we hit an entity, we'll run this function. You don't have to have both. Maybe you're making a game and you just want to detect when you're hitting entities. I'll mention that as we go through. So let's go over to Misode and make this enchantment. Looks like we're already in enchantments. Let's reset it to default. Right, I'm not going to play around with giving this to traders or putting it in the enchanting table or anything like that. We are only going to worry about how it works. So, supported items, yeah, we'll need that. It will work on any bow. And max level, that's all for enchanting. Anvil cost, no, don't care about any of that. Let's give it a description. Arrow hit detect will do. Not if you spin it like that. Holy moly. There we go. Slots, we do need a slot. Main hand. Okay, so when your bow's in your main hand, could we have either hand? Yes, we could have main hand, off hand, or hand. Okay, so maybe hand's better, so it works if it's in your off hand or main hand. I'm just going to put main hand for mine. If it's in your off hand, it doesn't work. Well, that's it so far, and now we just need to have some effects. So we'll have one effect, which is going to be... let me think. Hit block. Let's do hit block. Okay, there's one. Now, if you just want to be checking for hit block, you only need this effect. But I'm going to have two effects, so let's add that one. Boink. And I'm going to add another one as well, which is going to be post attack. Okay, so if you only want to detect if you're hitting block, only add this effect, hit block. And if you only want to detect if you're hitting an entity, only add this post attack. If you want both, add both like I have. Let's do hit block. Hit block. Oh, requirements. Okay, so we want to check as an object. Condition we're going to check is going to be entity properties. The entity is going to be this. The predicate is going to be, its type is a string, and it's going to be any type of arrow. So, not Minecraft arrow, we want any arrow, so that will do all the tipped and spectral arrows as well. Maybe you don't want that, in which case pick the one without the hash at the front. I'm going to say any arrow. That's alright. And then we need an effect. The effect will be run a function. And the function, let's put a placeholder. Bibbidi bibbidi bob. Okay. So, if we now hit a block, it's going to be the arrow that hits the block. So we're checking that it is an arrow. And we'll run a function. Okay, that seems good. Post attack. This one I am going to do requirements is going to be an object. The condition is going to be damage source properties. And I'm going to have a predicate on that. Is direct false. Now, I believe what that's going to do, it means, I'm pretty sure because it makes sense. I haven't checked. But I think this means I can't just go and hit something with my bow. That would be direct, I'm assuming. Okay, let's move on. I think there's more we can do with this, but this is just what I was playing with, and I thought, this is fun, I'll share it with you. What's the type going to be? So we got that damage source, so it's not direct damage. The type will be run function again. Let's run a function, placeholder. And who is enchanted and who is affected? Now at the moment, let's say I've got the bow and the enchantment's on my bow. So I'm the attacker and I'm enchanted. And I'm also the affected. That means if I hit an entity, that's going to run the function as me. Okay, so I don't want that. I'm enchanted, yes, but I want the victim. The victim. I want them to get the effect. Okay, so that's what we're going to go with. Let's copy that. Well, actually, what this is going to do is it's going to run that function as the victim. So they're only going to get an effect if we put something in the function that gives them the effect. We're going to. Right, let's pop that in there. We've got a couple of mistakes, but that's our placeholders for our functions. So if we hit a block, well, we don't want to do as, we want to run the function hit block. And if we hit an entity, we want to run the function hit entity. Okay, now let's do something simple. Hit block message. Say hit block. Hit entity. Say hit entity. Okay, and because we've used a say command, it's going to let us know who this function is running as. Let's go and give that a test. It's all saved, yeah. Let's load ourselves back up. Experimental, that's fine. Okay, let's shoot this wall. Hit block, arrow. So we can see, oh look at that, I've got a capital L. That's frustrating. We can see that it is running as the arrow, this function. Okay, so we know that. Okay, and if we hit an entity, we'll see that it's running as so it's the spider that's saying, ouch, stop shooting me. Okay, let's go back. First thing I'm going to do is go to hit block and change that capital L because it offends me. Right, in fact, since we're in hit block, let's keep going. We can do a few things. So I've got a few things here we can do. We can set a block. So let's do set block at those coordinates. Oh, you auto-filled it for me. Anything you want. Let's say emerald block will do. Emerald block. Let's be good and use the namespace. Okay, so that's going to set a block at the position. Now, you'll find you've got a little problem here. Watch what happens. I haven't changed the enchantment itself. I've only changed the function, so just a reload should do. Now our arrow is stuck in that block, and it's changed it. Watch what happens if I break that and the arrow falls. Oi! Now it's stuck in that block. So it's gonna keep changing every block it sticks in. You could imagine if you said change the block to air, it's going to be quite dangerous. What happens if oh, it's gone down. It's changed that one now. Oh, it's changed that one. So we probably want to do something to stop that. It's up to you. You might not want to. You might like that effect. Let's put a wall back for testing. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to do... We know this is running as the arrow because remember it was the arrow that said hit block. So we can just do kill S. Okay. Let's do a save on that. Go back. Do a reload. And now the arrow's just going to disappear. There we go. So we could have some sort of check in there. We could say if it's sandstone, turn it to emerald. If it's emerald, turn it to a redstone block. If it's a redstone block. I thought a use for this, which would be quite cool, instead of just setting one block, we could set all the blocks in a 5x5 area. Let's say set all wool blocks in a 5x5 area to red wool. And then I would go, boosh, and all these blocks would turn to red wool. And then someone else would come along and they'd fire theirs, but they would have a different score. Maybe they've got blue wool, and they would change all wool blocks to blue, and you'd have that sort of like Splatoon game or paintballing game where you've got to who can get the most of their own colour on the ground. I don't know. That's what popped into my head when I was making this. I thought that sounds fun. Anyway, let's keep going. Particle. I'll just copy a particle command. There's no point type. We've done particles so many times. I think you'll probably know how to do them. There we go. Particle. We'll do a bit of ash at the coordinates. Little bit of a spread. Speed 0. Count 200. Don't need normal. That's default. So we just get rid of that. So now we're going to have a particle effect as well. Bush. Little bit of ash. There we go. Why? I don't know. Why not? Now the advantage of the hit block one, because we are running as the arrow, we can actually affect the person who fired the arrow, because the arrow has an owner. Or more precisely, well, it has an owner, but we can execute on origin. And that's going to be me, because I'm the one that fired it. So we can do run effect, an effect that's obvious and easy to see, levitation. So if I do at S, so at S up here is the arrow. We come down here, we execute on the origin of the arrow. That means I am now at S, only for this one command though. I give myself, let's do levitation because that's easy to see, isn't it? Levitation. 1, 1. And hide particles. Yes, please. I hate those particles. There we go. So now I should get a little bit of levitation as well. Reload. I fire that. Hey, up. Okay, I'm sure this has got some possibilities for puzzle games. I'm sure it has. When I think of one, I'll make a puzzle map. I won't, because I've still got ages left to finish in my own map. I haven't done much on it. I've been too lazy. Okay, so that's hit block done. Let's do something with hit entity. Now, hit entity, I can't find a good way of getting the person who fired the arrow, so we don't have access to that. Because we're not running as the arrow. We're now running as, well, in our example, we're running as the spider. So we could give it levitation. Let's get hit block. Let's get that. Copy that. Just stick it in there. Effect, give S. So that's going to be the entity I hit. So that's going to be the spider. And particle again. Why not? Let's copy the particle. Might as well just grab that. And we'll put that in there too. Why not? The save. Let's go back. Well, let's do a reload. Reload. Let's get ourselves a little spider. Way, up you go. Oh, you're hard to hit now. Hey. Oh no, I'm turning the world into emerald blocks. Don't want to be doing that. That almost played the theme tune to Jurassic Park. Do, do, do. If only I had 2 more. Do, do. Okay, there we go. We're pretty much finished. Like I said, if we go to the arrow hit enchantment, if you only want it to affect the blocks, then simply cut off the post attack at the bottom. Just remove that. If you only want to affect entities, then cut off the hit block effect. If you want both, keep them both. If you can think of any cool ideas, let me know in the comments. I'm sure there's got to be some cool things we can make with this. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. Something else just playing around with enchantments. Have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.